Camera number 400. Yes, camera number 400 is the Beauty, and that's the name of the camera. And it's a Beauty. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a name plate on it, and so if I've done my homework correct, this is actually a Beauty 35 Super. It has a rangefinder built into it, and unfortunately when I got hold of the camera it was far from beautiful, as the images that I'm just about to show you demonstrate. The cover of the camera was missing, and the door for the film chamber was hanging off. There are a couple of other issues as well, which I'll come on to a bit later on as I consider how the camera works. Well, hopefully I've restored it to a little bit more beautiful condition. And so it's, as I say, it's a rangefinder camera, 35mm, takes 35mm film. And we have our rangefinder and viewfinder there. The camera features a Cantor 2.8 45mm lens, which we can see there. And also comes the variety of shutters. This one has the Copal MX, and as a result it has the top speed of 1/300th of a second down to bulb. And then on the next ring we have our apertures, which we can select there. So they're totally independent, the shutter speed and the aperture. We then have a flash synchronization port and a little switch that allows us to select whether it's electronic flash or not. And then we have our focus ring. Now unfortunately this is one of the major issues with the camera. The focus ring doesn't turn, so I'm assuming the camera is set to infinity, which is indicated by this, where the ring has stopped, as it were. I did take the camera, or take the lens off, and I detail that in perhaps a little bit more detail on my blog, arhphotographic.co.uk, but I won't bore you with the details here on this video. But needless to say, I wasn't very successful, so I put the camera back together again, because the shutter is actually fully functional on all speeds. And so my line of reasoning is that I'll go out, and if it's a sunny day, hopefully with 400 ISO film, I can select f16 or even f8, and hopefully that will give me if the camera is indeed focused on infinity, will hopefully enable me to take photos. So we'll see at the end of the video whether that has been the case or not. Moving to the top plate, we have our film advance, which again is maybe another issue with the camera, in that the film advance seems that should really be recessed. And indeed, when I did take the camera out, and I have taken the images, which I'll, as I say, reveal at the end, the film advance clearly has a problem, because some frames are very well separated, but some frames that have overlapped. So the film advance is another issue. So whether I get to solve that, well, we'll have to see. The film film rewind crank is here. It's a bit of a job to get out, but there it is there. I have got a dummy film in, which is why the film advance is... I was just trying to see why it was doing what it's doing, but I can't seem to see that. The film door, as I say, the film catch was hanging off, but that's now been restored, and so we can just undo the film door, and there's our dummy film. So as I say, I'm not quite sure why the film advance isn't moving properly. Whether it's the pressure plate, that's a possibility, I suppose. But why it should do it sporadically is maybe making it more difficult to determine. But if anybody has any solutions or any ideas, please let me know in the comments below. So there we go. On the base we have the usual suspects, the tripod mount and our little film lever that separates the film advance, so that we can then or disengages that so that we can rewind our film back in. Viewfinder has, as I say, a little square, and that seems to work quite nicely, and there is indeed a grid line through the viewfinder. Viewfinder seems quite bright. I've quite enjoyed that. So indeed, there we go. That's the camera. Oops, obviously hasn't gone back in properly. There we go. So, was the camera beautiful when it's taking photographs? Well, let's have a look, shall we, at the images. But in the meantime, this is camera number 400, the Beauty 35 Super.